York.
Yep.
I'm sorry. What was that, Adrian?
New York. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Degrees. My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
And today we have a special guest. Special guest, introduce yourself.
Special guest here, Chris. How you doing?
And Chris is one of my players in my Curse of Strahd campaign.
Yay, we've already said it.
And just get it out of the way right now, because it's going to be
That's true.
heavy. Curse of Strahd talk. But yeah, tell us about your character that you play in my campaign.
Tiefling sorcerer who is now a were-raven, who can share a sorcerer, mind you. I'm not normally accustomed to this.
Yeah,
be
no
honest.
worries. It's okay. Essentially,
I'm sorry, did you say you're a were-raven?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure. That's what I heard, because I definitely thought I heard it, but just wanted to make sure that I'm not crazy.
so essentially,
Okay, were-raven.
yeah. And what other abilities do you have that have been happening throughout the campaign that you've been picking up?
Oh, multiple that I had no idea about. My character is an emotionless tiefling who is trying to find some emotion. So in pursuit of that, he ate a Will-O-Wisp, gained some lightning powers, and now is talking to a, what do you say, a dark god? Or a deity?
A dark entity, potentially. Essentially, the werewolf queen of this demi-plane or this plane of existence. And her name's the Night Mother. So some contact has been made. It's another kind of big entity that I've I mean, it was mentioned a couple times in Curse of Strahd, but I've made it a little bit bigger player than the book has. Like, I think it's only in that one chapter. But that's only something I would know. But I think it's a really cool idea just to playing with gods into this area. Because, like, this isn't the only god that has been talking. The patrons of our other people, Joseph and JJ and Not. JJ's character Not has a god dream, which is heavily from Neil Gaiman's The Sandman. And there's been some interaction there, and slowly but surely I'm getting anyone who has a deity into play here. I think the Night Mother has been the biggest one because she's kind of connected to a couple other people in our party.
Okay, so in the normal Curse of Strahd, is there entrance for like gods and deities, or are you adding that as the DM?
I think that's just the normal kind of Curse of Strahd kind of, or like D&D play. You can add any god, but as Strahd is kind of the ruler, there's a little bit more of like this evil tense to it. Because Sard doesn't really have a connection to a deity other than through his pact with the Night Mother. Because he's a sorcerer. He's essentially. How does Sard understand his powers, Chris?
He doesn't. To be quickly honest, it's just more of a feeling to him. It's not something he understands. It's just like it happens, and it goes. He just goes with it.
Yeah. He's someone who has these feelings instead of it just being like learnt as some of our other characters like Arlen and I want to say Pink as well. It's turned into like, hey, I'd like you to do this or run away, and all of a sudden the suggestion spell kicks off. To him, it's not this like intentional thing. It's just a feeling, and behind the feeling of what he's been, I guess, born with, the spell is kind of triggered.
Yep, and it's more like, hey, it's a learning curve for him because it's. I tried to do it when I try to give him new spells. I try to give it to him like, what would he want to have to happen? Because at around level 5, he was thinking about becoming a were-raven. He was trying to become one, so he learned the spell Fly. But now since he became a raven, he lost the spell Fly. So I tried to have it like a story progression. Spells.
There's not a spell just for fun. It's a spell with a reason, and and also with his character like growing and grabbing these abilities, he's slowly progressing into this what do I need next? I mean, like, for your most recent level up, why did you pick the spells you picked?
Two spells I picked though, Warding Wind and got the other one. I don't normally choose offensive spells. I just try to find the best utility spells that might have like some kind of advantage that can't be just seen by the spell description, if that makes sense.
Yeah. One of the first thing Chris asks is like he wants to be able to like make these spells into something that's not totally on these descriptors. He wants to be able to like kind of make not an obvious reason for this spell or an application for this spell. I mean, that's what I remember from one of the first like intros during that kind of interview process that I have with my players.
Oh yeah, the Featherfall one.
Yeah.
So the question I asked him was, if a flying creature who didn't rely on flying through magic, like a bird or something, if you cast Featherfall on it, would it slow him down? Since he's constantly falling, but he's just flapping his wings to stay afloat.
No, it was just something kind of interesting. I'm like, I don't know, this guy's gonna push my limits to what I assume something is. And, if I had to create a couple things for him because of it, I still haven't gotten you those stats, which is my apologies. I'll do it after this podcast.
It's fine.
So because because Chris ate that Will-O-Wisp, I decided to give him a Hulk ability, which totally destroys his body. It's more of a last ditch effort because it'll do 2d4
Exhaustion.
and at 6 exhaustion you're dead. So I've made it very deadly for him. I think I'm probably, just off the top of my head, I'm just probably gonna max a couple like strength stats and then give him some DR and some resistance, because I think that if he's going to go all out and potentially will die, and this will be only for like dire fights where our whole party's about to just whiff it. So yeah, I think that for now, that may be in health boost, but I gotta play with it a lot in my head before I actually finalize it. I can definitely give you those Were Raven stats though. I'll definitely be able to do that.
Oh, also, he doesn't give me the full Will-Raven abilities. Like a normal Will-Raven would have damage immunities to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing. I just have damage resistance while I am in a hybrid or a regular Raven form, not as my normal Tiefling form. I think you should also clarify that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mainly for the fact that, like, just because you got this cool ability doesn't mean there's some limitations. Because I think that even with the Will-O-Wisp thing on top of it, which gives him spells and he loses his max HP, I think that it's slowly but surely just being a thing of what, like, how do I make this guy who's obtained all these abilities and still have it be fair? What are the drawbacks and what are the pros, and are they worth it, and can they be utilized properly without other players feeling like it's unfair? So like his Will-O-Wisp spell list that he has, it's for every level it's a D4. Is that right?
It's a D4 for. So if I cast, what's the first Chaos Ball at first level, I roll a D4. My maximum HP would be reduced by that D4. Third level, if I cast Lightning Bolt, it would be a 3d4. So if I rolled 3 3s, my maximum hit points would be reduced by 9.
So I'm trying my best to, what's called, balance this, because like giving a whole kind of like list of spells is kind of like, it's something that's not normally done. So I'm afraid I'm stepping on a bunch of toes. So I felt like I needed to have this balance into this fight, into this character, because I mean, I don't know what else. We're about to hit the Amber Temple, which has some cool ass shit in it and cool ass monsters. So I want to see how it, hopefully Chris's character goes all out, and we'll see what happens.
Oh God.
Yeah, just some foreboding. I can't say too much because he's gonna play it next week, this Friday.
Well, honestly, I kind of guess sometimes the monsters before we actually fight them by accident. I remember that time with the night hags. Oh God.
The night hags were. I mean, I felt like because I didn't properly like fully use them in the way, because like if I had them at the, I want to say 30 feet it was, where
Hmm.
they needed to get their spells off, I think everyone would have been in a little bit more trouble. But instead, I kind of made it so that originally it was just them two of them fighting the party, and then the third one coming in, and then like all of a sudden like they got stronger midway through the fight. Because part of me was like afraid to. I think this was before I felt like the gloves kind of came off a little bit more. So because I was afraid to kill my party as per usual. But this was like months ago. Do you think I got better at that, Chris?
I mean, you killed me.
Yep. And I killed Trash.
Wait,
What?
what? You killed Trash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You can't just like casually say that like it wasn't a big deal. Like I haven't thought about Trash almost anytime we talk about curses. Like what?
Yeah. I allowed them to retrieve. Okay, so.
You can explain this.
Yeah. A lot of stuff happened. Tresh's soul was removed from her body. They could see the embodiment of the soul, but her body disappeared. They used I want to say potentially a locate object spell, or someone saw something. I forget what I said. It's been months, and they found out that she was in somewhere snowy, and her body just seemed like it wasn't moving. So her soul was stuck in one place, and her body was stuck in another place, and she found it, but she couldn't get to it. There was this barrier. She couldn't pass the barrier, and neither could the party, or without being teleported like X amount of distance. And dude, I kept rolling behind the screen. I really wanted someone to roll a fucking one. Nobody did. Someone got real close, and I was like, "Oh!" But yeah, so people were shot like hundreds of feet away, and teleported across Barovia a little bit, but it didn't get too bad. Anyways, so somebody used see invisibility and detect magic, and I'm like, they're burning a bunch of spells to see this. If they get above, like, I think he got a 27 or something. Was it a nat 20? It might have been.
No, it was a 19.
It was a 19 for his
Yeah.
sight.
Yeah. I think Knight's perception was a little bit high.
Yeah. So I gave the guy who was burning all his spells kind of like advantage to see her body. Nobody else could see it because there's this big billowing wall of smoke that even Tresh can't see it because she's in the ethereal plane. Sorry, there's a lot of words I'm about to say, and a lot of it's not going to make sense. Anyway, so they kept throwing stuff into the fucking wall and running into the fucking wall and just spells into the fucking wall. And if okay, Chris, I'm gonna just tell you this right now. If you don't think there's fucking consequences knocking on the door or of this damn wall, you're severely wrong, Chris. Anyways, I gave him a hint that the Vistani could come and go as they please. So if they had someone from the Vistani, they might be able to get to the other side. But also, didn't mean for this to happen. I unintentionally dropped a hint, and somebody threw a copper coin into the mist, and it came back. I rolled a nat 20. So I gave him a gold piece, and it had a Waterdeep symbol. That led to the train of thought eventually to them thinking, wait, the wolves at their den, they had currency of different areas. They were able to leave Barovia. So they asked the wolf that they have in care and spoke with animals. They find out that the wolf is still communicating with the Night Mother, that the wolf knows there's a pact. There's two other people that are in the pact right now, which is Pink and Chris, because they have like communications or have some sort of gift from the Night Mother. So the wolf was able to roll high enough on his athletics, drags the body back, and they went into the ethereal plane with Chris. God, this is so much. Oh my! This was all last session. So much stuff happened last session. God, got her body back, got her soul back, went into ethereal plane, put the body into the bag of holding. I'm pretty sure there's some sort of weird rule that would make it not possible or blow something up, but I didn't care. I'm making it happen right in front of me, and the soul kind of crept into the body. Now, somebody was still using, I think, see invisibility or detect magic, one of those two. They could see. Oh yeah, see invisibility. They could see this kind of green cloud that's kind of like almost encasing the body, but it's not like it set in. And everyone's looking around, and this body is frostbitten and just so horribly maimed from being out there for so long. They use they use a first level cure wounds. From Chris's point of view, you see the shell in one spot near his hands kind of like come and like kind of almost press against the body, and then kind of backs off. And with a medicine check and an arcane check, I told them like, listen, the soul's not kind of returning fully. There needs to be a higher power magic, and you can tell that as of right now she's not breathing, but there's still potential that she could live. So they dropped a big fat spell. I think it was resurrection.
Revivify.
Thank you. And they
Yeah.
spent, I want to say, officially, they've used all their jewels that they could use for Revivify, because
Nope.
who has one of them? Ezrin has one of them that he used for his ritual.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they're all gone, but I think they don't have that 300 gold piece threshold that they need.
Oh, yeah, he did do that.
So way back, because I gave them 3 shots worth, and now they've used one and they used one. So I don't know how they want to play this. I'll have to play it by ear, but we'll see. They're out of Revivify, so it's gonna be good. Whatever's coming next. But yeah, Trish came back to life. A short breath, but no, she didn't come back. But holy shit! Apparently, one of our players almost cried, and one of Arlen was saying like, I was starting to pray in real life, and then I knew I went too far. But yeah.
Well, look, I remember Tresh being talked about on this podcast, so it's very upsetting to hear that a much beloved character died and then died again. How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, what you gonna do? Player's gonna play. But yeah, I think everyone played very well in this predicament. I think it was kind of sporadic, but I think in the end, where they finally got the thing, like, I knew 2 ways that they could potentially get trashed. There's one that was out of the picture at the moment, and then potentially a blink spell. But I didn't know. They tried everything in the book, and they tossed so many spells. And then just Chris came out with an idea, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I have to walk away because I'm like, that'll fucking work. So this third way that I wasn't even fucking thinking about just popped up. I'm like, let me think about these things. Let me see what I want to do. So I had to like step away, design a like plan. What would this person say? What would go on here? What's this gonna do? I just couldn't comprehend it for a second. Just like, I was like, there's 2 ways and that's it. Anyways, but yeah, that was fun. Having the players like think a little bit like bigger picture than I was, because I was so focused on the only ways that I saw it was possible. The DM doesn't know everything. Not until it's revealed.
I do love thinking outside the box, abstractly thinking stuff that no one else would think of.
Yes. And we could have asked some questions to the abbot, but I don't think he had that spell yet. But
speak for the dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of our players, on our cleric, he has access to all his abilities and spells, but he only has to pick a couple per day. And ever so often, I engage in combat too soon for him, and he's like, I only have like all these like not defensive, but like, I want to say utility. Thank you, utility spells. And he's like, I wasn't ready for this combat boss. I'm so sorry. It's so good. It's so good to catch them off guard. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
Another thing I was going to think of, like at that time, was like if we cast a create undead or a spell similar to that onto the abbot's body, wouldn't the abbot still have Strahd's favor? Maybe, possibly.
Oh, definitely not. Remember when he pushed him into the the pit? That's how he killed him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I showed them this big scary guy, and then the fucking Strahd comes in, pushes him into this pit of whatever Ezrin got's going on. Something of Hadoosh or Habet. I don't know what it's called.
Hunger of Hadar, I think it is.
Thank you, Hadar. Hadoosh, Hadadar. But yeah, I think, kind of showing them that this guy who like kind of swacked a couple of our players around is getting like pushed around by this other player. It's just showing like the hierarchy of power.
Sorry.
And mind you, this guy also brought me down to 1 HP twice, 3 times actually.
Yeah, no, it was deadly. It was close. It was a good one. Another good one. Gotta give them combat where it makes them feel like, oh, I could have bit it there too.
Until unless you hit Orland's AC.
God, he fought off like 5 people in one doorway, and I think I had 2 attacks per hit, and he survived all of them. What a punk! It's okay. It's growing increasingly difficult throughout this campaign. All right, Chris, I have a question. Do you think I've grown as a DM over time? And you can be very truthful, or he's like, nah, you're stagnant. You're stale as fuck, dude.
I mean, I'm thinking back to the very first sessions because I can only think about myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I was constantly helping you with new ideas I had.
Yes.
And now since I think you told the line pretty well by feeding into these ideas, but at the same time not giving into them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you've been doing a good job.
Appreciate it. That's all I brought you on here is for self-validation. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna call you out for that too. Just like,
Came close.
Adrian needs Adrian needs his ego stroke today.
Nah, no.
He always does though.
Yeah, I know.
As a DM, I think that's a pretty easy character trait to be found across storytellers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason I became a DM was because I
You
wanted.
like talking?
No, I don't. I didn't like talking. I wanted to be a better
You like
storyteller.
hearing yourself talk?
I wanted to be a better storyteller. I didn't feel like anybody listened to me. So I mean, when you're DMing it, from in person, way back when in the times before, you could tell if you're doing a good job DMing if people are kind of latched to your conversation or to the story. If they're not, you see them on their phone or doing whatever. And I know now that there's some people who do that and can still be engaged, but I'm mainly talking about the individuals who asked me what just happened while they're sitting at the table. Those are the people that I'm kind of referring to. And to get those individuals' attention and grip on this story, I wanted to be better at that. Which I think I have. I mean, especially with the job where I have to talk to people all the time. It's slowly changed. All right, let me kind of rewind a little bit. I used to be a server, but that's not the conversation that I've kind of grown. That's you're there. That individual's going to be there for 20 to an hour, right? But you're not talking to them. If you're good, you can. I wasn't good, but I was mostly what else can I get you? How can I serve you? What can I do to enhance this experience? Ooh. But that wasn't getting anywhere. I knew how to be polite when being people are being rude to me. I mean, I think Chris can understand that in his job that he's had.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of save face, right? As best as you can.
Working with people is difficult at times.
Yeah.
My thing is sometimes I have people who would like to talk 20, 30 minutes to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on the phone, sometimes hey, I gotta go do my job now. I'm sorry. I do try to be nice and hear what they're saying, try to engage with them, but every single person.
Yeah. And it's always a mixed bag. But I think with the job that I currently have, I have to see the same people every week and have that conversation, ask them about how they're doing mentally and meds and all this stuff, and just kind of getting an update on their lives. And and as much as I can help in that moment, that's what I do. So I think that with this job as well, I've improved this kind of social interaction. And also didn't help that we're in quarantine. So there's that.
So I do have a question, Chris.
Sure.
For you. How do you feel the balance between your creative idea for your character and then working with a DM? I mean, I know he's sitting in front of you. Whatever. That's
I can
fine.
leave. You want
How
me
do
to
you
leave? I mean, I'll still have to hear and edit this audio later, but I can leave.
No, it's fine. How do you feel that's been balanced? I guess, where were your lines of I really want this to be my character, and did it ever come to a point where you were like, no, man, like this is mine, or whatever? I know that was a lot of questions in one, so talk
Oh,
freely.
with my character, I was like, I tried to be creative as possible and tried to be like polite to other people. So I I see it online where like people who care like neutral are like horror stories pretty much. They're just being an ass. I try not to be that guy in the table. I'm constantly worried about that, so I'm trying to be more mindful to other people. Adrian just let me go loose. It was like, hey, it's your story, man. Go ahead. Because Adrian, you know what my plan was for the night hack, right?
Was it like just
That that
killer?
that no, not well. My character would never kill.
Yeah.
That, but he would do brutal stuff to people, but not kill.
Yeah,
It's
torture, the thing before death, essentially.
yes, and he was just like, go ahead, if but you'll have to have the party look at you.
There was going to be consequences, and I wasn't going to say like I kind of knew the vibe of what the party was kind of going for, but since he didn't see that, I'm like, I think it's important for him to see it through like that perspective. And as his
Hmm.
character not feeling emotions, it was also hard in that aspect as well. And eventually, I think like back in December, we had to kind of like we need to talk so that way we can keep playing this game. Like nobody, it's not like we didn't. It's not like, hey, we're kicking you out. It was like, hey, let's talk about how we play. And I think Arlen was kind of did more backseat now since we had that conversation from the back. Like he was always leading, and he was like, let's see what other ideas can be had by other individuals. And then for Sard, like, let's kind of do more collaborative and see what we can do. If I mean, correct me if I'm mistaken.
No, you get pretty much got it right. So D&D altogether is more of a cooperative game. You can't play it by yourself. It's more like you have to deal with these people. If you're just pushing them away, doing your own ideas, then it's not. What's the real point? Nothing's going to go into your favor, in my opinion.
Everybody wants their time in the sun, and I think it's important to try, but like we've got to the point at this point, we've gotten to the point of the story where it's like if somebody goes into something by themselves, they might get killed. Now that like the Strahd is aware and everything, like before, went on side missions, went to go see the priest, went to go steal some jewels, like everything was kind of like, we'll see what we can do. But now that I think that we've progressed so much and everybody knows the danger, it's going to be tough to find that alone time.
Oh, especially since you ruined my darkness.
I've ruined his darkness, not completely, but somewhat. I've given some of the bigger baddies the ability to see through their darkness.
Yeah,
Because,
my
man.
one niche.
Well, yeah, and then Ezran had that niche as well. And then Arlen just absolutely despises darkness. He's like
I
he's like a frontline fighter, and he jumps in, and then either Ezran or Sard pop in darkness. I mean, everyone's now recently have been more, I guess, conscious about
teamwork.
that fact. Yeah, yeah. Still letting the frontliners get their punches in, but
I have yet.
go
I
ahead.
haven't cast darkness in like since November.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've been more mindful to the team now because, like, story wise, Shard is being trying to be more mindful to the team. He's not alone in this.
Yes. But yeah, do you have any other questions for us, Alex?
Yeah, like how do you feel your character has grown both in the way that you think about your character and in the actual character development within the story?
The way I designed my character was I designed him based around his environment, like how he would be affected by people treating him as a tiefling who, like, as a devil character, or the copper dragon who helped raise him. He's more malleable to all the people around him, want to say. That's the whole reason why he's chaotic neutral is because he's not exactly good, but he's not going to be evil. With the party how they are, he's being more mindful, malleable to those requests he has, and it's been nice to have this kind of character development that I didn't see coming too. Because I always planned on the Will-O-Wisp being eaten, I just want to be a surprise for both the DM and the party.
Yeah. Eventually, you had to tell me so I could figure out what happened afterwards,
Yeah,
which I appreciate the heads up.
I mean, I kind of wanted to see a reaction, but
Like I would
it
have
is
had
what it
to
is.
end session right then and there if that were to happen. I would just like, okay, well, I'll figure this out. Give me a week. I'll be back. God. Yeah, I know everybody else was like, did he just say that? Did he just do that? It's a pretty great moment.
What else would I was going to use it for?
Be your pal. I don't know.
Familial.
Everyone gets one. We'll see how it goes, though. Yeah. My party's been using a ring of spell storing for everyone to get their own personal familiar, but it costs like X amount of incense. I'm saying it right. It just sounds wrong.
Yeah.
And then just them
As,
burning the spell.
as long as you don't add a T to the end of it.
Yep. But yeah, I just think that with this group, I'm always trying to make sure. Like, we have a few wild cards. We have one who just, like, kind of. Our barbarian rages on mood, not on. Oh, we're in combat? Let's rage. He's like, I'll wait. And nothing wrong with that, May. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's fun. It makes me. When I have to play her character, I get to choose whether I do it or not. Upon just like, meh, I don't think I'm gonna do it this round, and I almost got her killed that way. I'm like, oh, I don't want her to yell at me when she gets back.
I mean, you could always resurrect her as a damn field or reborn.
That's right.
PC.
I mean, when someone dies, we're gonna have to sit down and have a conversation because, like, I guess I'll talk about that right now. I don't know how I feel about people dying. I know I'm not gonna like let them have like their same person back. They're gonna
Oh,
be
I can
all
read.
unless it's resurrection, obviously. I know I want there to be an actual feeling of loss, and I want there to be someone, whoever they bring in. I need to figure out also how I meld them with the group, because if I don't do it properly, there's gonna be this feeling of unbalance, and I want everyone to feel like they belong together in this kind of group. And I know it's just RP, but when you like, and we've had this discussion before, like if you RP like not knowing somebody or like having this cold shoulder towards them, it to those individuals who have put something from themselves into those characters, it's gonna feel hurtful. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of pressure on me if someone dies, because we're just gonna have to have a long conversation on how to properly reintroduce a character.
The way I see him, if Shard has ever died, I always imagine it's be like, hey, it's his own fault, his own thing, and I'll try, and I'll be okay with it. It's just like if Irina or Ismark dies, then it's like, hey, I let them die. They are like the party NPCs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if Shard dies, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because I do what I want and he does what he wants, pretty much.
Do you feel that by me giving you that heads up way back when, that it allowed y'all to be okay with the idea of player death?
What heads up?
Like back, I think, like, hey, this encounter is probably going to be deadly and all that stuff. Back, I think, at the windmill with the witches.
The windmill. You said that with the windmill, the werewolves fight. You
Yeah,
said
you
that
took
with
two immediately out of commission. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I suggested two werewolves to run west for 8 hours.
Yeah, because I think I crit failed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you crit failed on both of them.
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck these guys. They don't get another save, and they ran.
Oh, they wouldn't have gotten another save. It's like you kind of expect player death in a way.
Mm-hmm. Do you think I shouldn't have had those talks and just let it happen?
I mean, also, it would be like kind of. I would imagine like you would want some heads up, like saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna hold punches for you guys."
Yeah.
Because if it just comes up as a surprise and it's like, what do you do now?
Mm-hmm. go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, I was like thinking like as long as you tell them beforehand, like, hey, I'm not gonna pull punches for you sometimes, but be aware that like player death is gonna be a thing in my campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything should be fine
Okay.
as long as you have that kind of talk with the players.
Yeah, that open communication.
Mhm.
I've also given them this like this foreboding warning. Like, listen, after what we do here, once we get our next level up, I'm gonna sit down with everybody because like you'll be level 8 at that point, right?
Mhm.
And I expect them to level only a couple more times, if that, before everything goes down. And I mean, I feel like I have to let them know that I'm gonna play my damnedest and my best strat I can ever play. So I just want y'all to know that right now.
I fully expect you to try to kill us. I completely expect it.
When it comes down to it, the part where I feel like I will not give a F if you guys die is at like the last battle. If it's, I mean, that's where I'm like, we got to this point, live or die. We're gonna see what happens.
If there is a last battle.
Exactly, if it's that last battle. Or does it end up like the last surviving heroes, where they barely made it out, and only the bones and souls remain? But yeah.
I was gonna say the only reason why I say in chat that reason why I died was bullshit was
Mm-hmm.
just because it felt more sudden than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Because I rolled max. So back to the Whale-Wraith and Hulk form,
Mm-hmm.
the 2d4 exhausted, I rolled max on that the first roll. If it was just like if I rolled a 5, then like oh shit, my character knows that this can be lethal.
Mm-hmm.
There's like foreboding to it.
But your character doesn't feel that because he was kind of given this thing. I knew they had the ability to bring you back, and I needed to burn some of y'all's resurrection stones. I just needed some of that gone, dude. You have any questions, Miss Alex?
Not that I can think of. I think it's interesting hearing your players sort of call back the same things that you and I talk about on our podcast, and really how Dungeons and Dragons brings all sorts of people together. And even, if we're having a good time, a bad time, it's just about human connection. And it's really nice to hear that we're all human and we all connect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I were to wrap it up and put it in a pretty bow.
No worries. Go ahead, Chris.
The reason why I got into D&D was just because it's something new. It's something to get out of my comfort zone. I used to play like Neverwinter Nights back in the 90s, I believe. It was like this old D&D video game based off 2E or 3, I forgot which.
Might have been 2.
Been so long.
So yeah, I think second edition was around when I was playing when I was young. If you saying if 90s, depending when you got the game from the 90s. But yeah,
I still got the game on Steam.
nice.
That's how much I love it.
Have you had any experience finding any other games? Has it been tough? Has it been easy?
I have only ever been in one other campaign, but it was more of a dungeon run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less RP, more combat and survivability. I enjoyed it. I liked the people who played. They were all experienced. I was probably the only new player in the game.
Mm-hmm.
The DM at that time was like he gave into my creativity, so to speak.
Yeah.
So there was like instance where there's one demon who can screech and knock everyone unconscious for a whole hour or so.
Yeah.
And my character had a familiar raven and minor illusion. I asked my DM like, hey, can I cast minor illusion and my raven use his mimicry to simulate that same screech to knock people unconscious. I was never able to use it because I fought nothing but undead, but it was not nice to have that like communication with him and as a new player to try create more than from nothing.
That's good. I'm sorry you only got the one then.
One what?
Well, the one other game.
I've been working too much to get into another game.
It be like that.
Like with another game starting in my life, I don't know how anyone plays more than one game. In 2 games, I'm a little overwhelmed. We haven't even started one of them. All I've done is built a freaking character, and I'm already like, I don't know if I have time to do anything other than teach, sleep, eat, and play D&D. And I know that sounds like a glorious life, but like, your girl has got a new book she's got to finish. Like, I can't be
Nice.
Oh. I don't know. That's going to have to be another podcast, I guess, coming down.
Yeah.
Coming down the line, talking about how the fuck to balance everything.
Yeah, we talked about balancing in
just-
episode 2.
Yeah, you just wing it, pretty much.
Oh no, there's too much anxiety in me
Chris,
to just wing it.
Yeah, Alex does not play it with our rule set, okay? She's got to be so prepared.
I am so prepared.
Hey, do you remember my ideas back when I was starting to?
I think I shot down like most of them, I'll be real.
I was playing like, hey, this is what my character is planning on doing next session. You want to get ready for the checks?
Like, yeah.
I was like, that was every week too. Now it's just like I'm in an unknown area, so it's like, why not? Just see what happens.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's stretched my idea of what I should be doing as a DM. It's kind of forced me to be a little bit more creative. I mean, there's some stuff that I'll say no to, but because I feel like as an individual who's kind of limited with their own ideas, like I don't know how to properly make that fair or make that make sense. So I have to make it make sense to me so I can properly think about how to roll for it, what to do this and that. Just all these things in order for me to be able to tell it properly for the rest of the group to understand as well.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly but surely, like I've thought about things that I've said no to in the past, and like, well, I think it's gonna sound like really complicated, but it could have gone down like this. And just try to think about what possibly could go positive and wrong and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the last idea I had was with the giant rock. Was with me turning into a tiny raven, getting swallowed by the tiny rock, and casting wooden wind inside the rock to see what would happen. Or the alchemist fire and poison.
Yeah. There was a lot of science stuff behind that I just don't think they would have worked out. Mentally, I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't know if it is possible.
Alex, if you don't know, we figured a way to milk a pseudo dragon poison out of him.
Oh yeah, milk. Yes, they've been milking the pseudo dragon for its poison.
And we got some alchemist fire, and my character wanted to mix some. So he was planning on using his mouth to transfer one to the other.
I forgot it was the mouth.
So you couldn't like siphon it, but you just put it in your mouth.
I was gonna put the idea was gonna put the poison in my mouth and hold the alchemist fire flames in, because the moment they contact with air, it starts to burst. So the idea was to use my tongue to have it close and just like try to siphon as much poison inside it as possible. The party shut me down on that idea.
Either you're gonna burn the fuck out of your mouth or accidentally drink the poison if you did the wrong check. Like it was a lot of bad going in just for a hypothetical alchemist poison fire.
Christopher, are you okay? Do you need a therapist? I've got a lot of questions for your brain, and I don't think we have enough time in a podcast to cover them all.
Keep in mind, as a tiefling, I have hellish resistance, so I'm resistant to fire. I also got a feat that makes me resistant to poison.
Oh yeah, then Adrian, what the fuck? You should have totally let him do it because he's resistant to it.
He's not immune to it. He's not immune to it.
Resistant though. Come on.
Hey, the party stopped him. I didn't stop him. I just told him.
Walls.
I just told him it was gonna be a bad idea, but I'm not the one that usually stops him. I'm like, okay, Chris, here's the potential checks, okay? But we'll see if everybody else says anything. That's not true. People stop him usually.
95% of the time they stop me.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time my idea went through.
Well, this last one, kind of, right? The wolf.
The wolf, yeah. but I had to walk them through the idea too. It's like I couldn't just up and say, "Why don't we have the wolf go through?"
Yeah, you gotta get everybody on board. You gotta show them the logic that you already see. All right, I think we have to wrap this up.
It's bedtime.
Well, it's hungry boy time too. It's all good. Okay, Chris, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, I have no plugs to plug.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Alex? Or, yeah.
Nice to
Thank
meet you,
you,
Alex.
dear. Oh, nice to meet you, Chris. Thank you for coming and chatting with us. It's nice to hear that Adrian's not a complete dick all the time. Just some of the time.
Only 8%.
8%? I can deal with 8%.
I said
Thank
80.
you.
Oh, 80? Oh.
Oh, 80. Oh, that's...
I'm okay with that too.
Thank you, dear listeners. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at some sort of name we have. Keep moving around. Right now it's Dungeons and Degrees. Thanks to everybody who supports us on Patreon. We wouldn't be able to continue without you. If you are interested, you can join us on Patreon for as low as $5 a month. You get a handy dandy pencil and a handy dandy sticker as long as you subscribe to being a patron. I have no idea. That's actually probably wrong, Adrian. You can cut whatever you need.
Yes, our lowest is going to start at $3 for just all episodes without ads, then $7 for all bonus content and anything I edit early, along with a little sticker with our Dungeons and Degrees logo. And then $10 will have a pencil as well, and then you get to be a part of our one-shots if it's something you wish to do. All right, back to you, past me's.
You can help support us for as low as $3 on Patreon. We would love to have you help us out and grow our podcast in all the ways. If monetary is not your game, then please subscribe to us wherever you find your podcasts. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That helps us get our name out. And tell a friend. If you enjoy it, maybe somebody else will, and you can just laugh together. And at this point, ciao.
Oh, God. Well, thank you.
You know what? My whole it's destroyed. It's destroyed my life.
I love it.
It's destroyed my life, Adrian.
That's on you. That's definitely on you. It's not on me.
I know, but all of my algorithms, I ended up bringing up. No, I didn't bring it up into a conversation. Cars got brought up into a conversation yesterday, and I was like, "This is how I fucking die. I'm going to die talking about cars, and I fucking hate it."
And dear listener, I'm sorry that you had to listen to our last episode. All right, well, thank you so much for listening. My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
Go have some fun.